If you've been on YouTube at all in the last couple years, I'm sure you've seen all these videos popping up discussing or trying to explain why video games are terrible and why the game industry is dying. It's the woke, it's your age, it's the devs. Well, the truth is, it's complicated. Fair warning, this video is probably going to trigger a lot of people. That's okay. Let me know how triggered you are in the comments. We can all agree to disagree. We don't have to have the same opinion to have a civilized discussion about anything. But we're going to get through this as fast as we possibly can. So the main reason, or at least the main reason the internet thinks that video games are dying, is because of DEI/wokeness in video games. And while we have seen an uproar of that in the last couple years, I can't say that that's the only reason. See, the problem is diversity and inclusion is not really an issue in video games. Sure, there should be some of that in games, but you can't completely change franchises to fit it in, because that was never the lore, or that was never what the game was even really about. And that actually brings up another point, because most video games now are trying to be one size fits all.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Let's put a chick in it and make her name it gay!
Sure, yeah.
They're also actively making a lot of franchises easier for new players to get into, or casuals to enjoy as much as the die-hard fans. You know, I went over this a little bit in my Call of Duty Zombies video, where I talked about how the dev from Call of Duty, one of the lead directors there, decided, because his brother got bullied in an online match of zombies, to make the points not matter anymore and to make it easier. Every game can't be for every player. There are tons of different genres, and there are tons of different players out there in the world that like different things. So you shouldn't take something like Mario and give it the Elden Ring makeover. And you shouldn't take something like Zombies and give it the Mario makeover. I don't know why Mario is the only thing I'm coming up with. Not that every Mario game's easy, but you know what I'm saying. That's enough about the DEI stuff, because honestly, I don't think a lot more needs to be said. I believe that's maybe 15% of the problem, just spitballing numbers. A lot of other people are saying that it's because you're getting older. And I do think there may be truth to that, because as I've gotten older, you know, I have a family now, I'm a lot busier than I used to be, so I don't really have a lot of time to play video games, and when I do play video games, it's hard for me to make a decision what I want to spend my free time playing. I think getting older has something to do with it. Obviously, everyone grows up and grows out of things, not necessarily completely, like I still watch Pokemon and watch anime and I play video games, but I think at some point, yeah, you do kind of stop putting that at the top of your priority list. So, in my opinion, I feel like getting older is maybe 10% of the problem, and it could be less. Again, it's not like I'm a scientist or a mathematician, okay? I'm not some special rocket engineer science guy, okay? I'm just saying things, and this is just solely my opinion, and I'm trying to bring everything to light at once so we can get a better understanding of why video games are kind of shit now. A lot of people are saying that games are just not fun anymore, and this actually is split into two parts on the chart, because it also involves a lack of story. So you can't just say that games aren't fun anymore, because again, remember that games aren't necessarily for everyone. Sure, they should be available for everyone, but that doesn't mean that every single person who plays it is going to enjoy it or even like it at all, for that matter. So saying a game just is not fun is too general. It's too generalized. You don't have enough context there. Why was the game not fun? Like, a lot of people hated Star Wars Outlaws. I personally haven't played it, but I'm sure there's a couple people out there that like it. Maybe. Don't kill me. And then I would imagine, you know, that the reason Concord failed before it even launched is because everyone's kind of sick of the Overwatch playstyle. Concord obviously shoveled a lot of the DEI stuff in, and a lot of people roasted it for that, but a lot of people also probably just really didn't want another Overwatch game. Like, if they want an Overwatch game, they'll just go play Overwatch, right? Lack of storytelling in games now, it seems, is completely non-existent. So, just for clarification, not fun anymore and lack of story go together, and they both come in at 20% each on the chart, completely separate. But the lack of story you can really see in most games now, because with the success of things like Elden Ring or Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, there's several other open world games that have come out and that's fine. I'm not trying to make a full list of all that stuff, but everyone is trying to go for bigger worlds, and bigger is not always better. Just because the map is massive, if there's no substance or reason for the map to be massive, then why are you making the map massive? Now people are just bored playing Walking Simulator, and I think they're focused more on bigger, better graphics versus bigger, better story, and that's where a lot of video games have fallen off. Before we move on to the last section of the chart, which I believe holds the majority, honestly, of why the video game industry is dying, tanking, whatever you want to say. And again, we can agree to disagree on this. No one has to take what I'm saying and go, "Oh my God, how dare you!" I can see you hate typing in the comments. Calm down. Okay, this is, again, just an opinion, and everyone's entitled to an opinion. I hated Black Ops 6. A lot of my comments were defending Black Ops 6. I just don't, it's not for me. It wasn't for me, so I'm going to say it's not for me. I think it's trash. That's just my opinion. It's okay. But for me, peak gaming was in the early 2000s. Obviously, you know, I grew up with the GameCube and stuff like that. If you didn't play a lot of the GameCube games back in the day, then you're probably not going to feel the same way about the GameCube as I did. But I'm also, I'm zeroing in a specific era of the early 2000s, 2005, when the Xbox 360 came out, and we had games like Guitar Hero and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and we had Assassin's Creed, and games like that. Like, the first time you booted them up, especially Assassin's Creed, I will never forget the first time I played Assassin's Creed. It was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, this story's so cool. I'm laying down in this bed, and I'm going into this machine, and I'm changing history and saving the world. It was just a really cool concept, and we've lost that with almost every Assassin's Creed game since. I mean, there's been a handful out there that were, I wouldn't say they weren't fun, but it just didn't have that same magic and that same appeal to me. So I haven't really touched the Assassin's Creed franchise since. That was peak gaming to me, though. Early 2000s. That was when it was all fun. People cared more about you having fun in the game than trying to push an agenda or trying to make the game bigger, better graphically, and not really give a crap about whether or not the game's actually fun or has a decent story. And this brings me to my final opinion here, okay, on my chart. So I'm going to pull the whole chart up now. You guys can finally see my beautiful, ugly chart on why gaming sucks. Again, DEI, woke, 15%, getting older, 10%, just not fun, and lack of story, both at 20%. And I think the biggest contributing factor to why games feel like they suck now is internet opinion. Yeah, I know. The guy who's giving his opinion on the internet is saying something about internet opinion. But the reason that I think the internet opinion negatively affects gaming as a whole is because most people are chronically online now, especially gamers, right? We're always online doing something. We're either online trying to stream or do a YouTube video or get a sick clip for a montage or whatever. And we're always watching YouTube. So I think that we hear someone's opinion on a game, and a lot of people either just 100% disagree with that opinion or 100% agree, forgetting that there is an area of gray in the middle. You don't have to go all or nothing on it. If there are redeeming qualities to a game that someone says sucks, okay, then you found redeeming qualities that you like about the game. But that doesn't mean you like everything about the game, right? In most cases, I would say probably not. I know there are a lot of games that I'm like on the fence about. I'm a huge Diablo guy. Diablo 4, in my opinion, it wasn't the worst game in the world, but it really wasn't great either, especially compared to the rest of the franchise. Diablo, 1, 2, and 3, when I played those, I had a really great time all the way through. I don't have that great time anymore when I play Diablo 4. I played it for a couple months, first season, and then just, completely put it down and never touched it again. Uninstalled it because it's not the same feeling anymore. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and yap about why I think the gaming industry is dying, and why I think that video games are not fun anymore, and why everyone has that kind of that feeling inside of them that everything just sucks. It's just my opinion, guys. Remember, if you disagree, let me know what you would have changed on the chart down in the comments, and I'll see you all. Jones.